With the 7th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Armand Membou.
There it is.
Missouri.
Okay.
All right, welcome in. The New York Jets have a new right tackle, Armand Membou, selected 7th overall. The Jets did not go with the tight end, Tyler Warren. A lot of fans were kind of split on that decision, but I'm very happy with the selection. I think the premium position of the tackle is way harder to hit on outside of round 1, maybe round 2. And based on the way tackles flew off the board in this year's draft, round 2 is looking a little iffy for the tackle front. So the Jets get a stud at the right tackle position. Guy didn't give up a sack the entirety of college. He's got a sub 5-second 40-yard dash, which has only been done 3 times in combine history, one of which was Will Campbell that went number 4 overall. But then you got Trent Williams and Tristan Wirfs were the other 2. So you're talking some pretty elite company when it comes to running that fast in the 40-yard dash. So I'm really happy with the selection. There's a lot that goes into like where the Jets were going to go. There was some thought they might go defensive player, and tight end Warren wound up going number 14. He wasn't even the top tight end taken. There was Colston Loveland wound up going 10 overall to the Bears. So overall, the beginning part of the draft really fell the way I think a lot of fans sort of felt. Obviously, the switch of the Browns and the Jaguars kind of changed things, but the player selections were pretty much about the same. I think a lot of people had the Jags taking Mason Graham at 5, while the Browns would take Hunter, but those two flip-flop. Now the Browns have 2 of the first 4 picks in the second round, so they're going to be able to do whatever they want. Shedeur Sanders falls out of the first round. That was like probably the biggest story of today's night. And then the Giants get Abdul Carter at the top of the draft at number 3 and then trade back in for Jackson Dart. So we'll see how that plays out for him. From a draft pick perspective or value of that trade, I thought the Giants did pretty well overall. But from a Jets perspective, Jets are going to be lean, mean, and a ground and pound fighting machine. Lots of things could still happen on day 2. Lots of different ways that the Jets could kind of break things. The Breece Hall rumors were swirling today. Is there any truth to that? Obviously, Muji and Glenn kind of said, "Oh, we haven't had any discussions about that," but that could certainly change real quick if someone thinks he's available. I hope they do not move on from Breece Hall. I'd be a little irritated if that were the case. Now, as far as day 2 picks go, there's a lot of players still available. A lot of good names that I did not think would still be here. Will Johnson is a major good corner from Michigan, but he had the torn, I think it was an ACL, is what he wound up having. Mike Green is a freak of an edge rusher as well. When I'm looking at this list, this is ESPN's best available currently. So things could shift a little bit depending on how teams' big boards are roughly. The Jets now hold the 10th pick in the second round. So we're pick 42. So we just got to find 10 players that we like and feel comfortable with. But overall, these are the players that I think I would probably hone in on the most. If I had to give like a favorite for me, I would say Nick Emenwari and Mason Taylor would be the 2 guys that I'm kind of zeroed in on. And then I would throw in Jaden Higgins. Where is he? Jaden Higgins as the wide receiver I'd like to maybe target. I really like Siobhan Revel. I'm not high on like going cornerback because we're going to pay Sauce a ton of money, but we are also assuming we're going to pay Sauce a ton of money. I mean, I guess there's a possibility that maybe you ride out 2 years of him or you trade him for a haul of picks. Like, who knows? But I would like to err on the side of re-signing Sauce, so corner is kind of not really in my wheelhouse that I want to go towards. Safety, tight end is where I'm hoping to go. If Emenwari's there, I think he's probably my selection at this point. But there's going to be a lot of options. Wide receiver, there's still a lot of good guys on the board that could fall into the 3rd round. Kyle Williams is a player that I'm really keeping my eye on, the kid out of Washington State, a burner from a speed perspective. So look, there's a lot of different directions the Jets could go. Defensive tackle, it was a heavier defensive tackle class in the 1st round than I think we were expecting. A lot of us were hoping for Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State to fall to the Jets. That didn't wind up happening. He wound up going, I think, late 20s was where he ended up going. So at this point for D tackle, I think I'm leaning more towards like 4th round pick and possibly beyond at that point. I'm just looking for like a fatty up front, like just a big hog molly that can eat up a bunch of blocks, that sort of thing. So if you can get me some pass catchers tomorrow, that's the key piece of this whole puzzle. We don't have anyone outside of like Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall to catch passes for us, and Breece Hall potentially could be on the move. So wide receiver, tight end, if you can answer those two for me tomorrow, I think I'm going to be pretty happy across the board. Guys, we are going to be live tomorrow starting at 6 o'clock for day 2 of the draft over on the Talkin' Jets channel. We're giving away 2 tickets, 2 home opener tickets, 100 level tickets with passes to Tailgate Joe's Tailgate to someone tomorrow night during the draft. Someone won I'm losing the name off the top of my head. Amir won the Armand Membou jersey tonight. And then we have 3 pairs of Tailgate Joe season passes for his tailgate through day 3 of the draft. We got a bunch of people coming on. We got Asman, Richie. We got obviously the Talkin' Jets crew and Jeremy, Dom, and Tigo. We've got Tyson coming on the show, Buffalo Jet fan. I've been talking with him. NYJ, Mike, and Matt are going to pop in at some point. So lots of names that you could see throughout the course of the next 2 days or so. So come on, hang out. It's a good time. But boys, I am tired. So I am going to shower. I smell like a butt right now. I've just been sitting in my own sweat. But I am very, very tired. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Let me know your favorite players that you'd like to see in the day 2 of the draft for the New York Jets. And as always, go Jets.
J-E-T-S, Jets!